try this again. Good morning. It is Monday, the 11th of September, 2017. It's also my mom and dad's 46th wedding anniversary today, so be sure to wish them a happy anniversary. Um, so just a heads up, a reminder that on Wednesday night this week, instead of meeting in 190 Lindquist, we're going to be meeting out at a place called Ciha Fen. Told that it's also pronounced Chia. Anyway, however you want to pronounce that. It's a spot that's about 35 minutes or so from Lindquist Center. I've mapped it out here for you. And so, like last week, if you could try to get on the road by about 4:30 so that we could start out at Ciha Fen by about 5, that'll give us a couple of hours out there to play around, not unlike what we did last week. And then we'll wrap it up by about 7 so that you can get back home at a reasonable time. So again, we'll be meeting at Ciha Fen. It's not nearly as big as the area that we explored last week, but sounds like there's still a lot to look at and explore. I was told by the naturalist for Johnson County Conservation that it really provides kind of a glimpse of what Iowa would have looked like a couple hundred years ago before we decided to turn it into a corn and soybean field. And so that'll give us kind of a glimpse of how Iowa's land use has changed over the course of the last couple of centuries. And then there's also some interesting hydrologic and geologic features out there that I think will be worth looking into and trying to wrap our heads around. And so one thing that I was hoping we might be able to do before you head out on Wednesday would be to get into the storage closet in 190 and get a couple of pieces of equipment that we could use for water quality analysis. And so I know that there are some big nets on long handles. So a long handled net would be something that we could grab a couple of. Any kind of water sampling containers, so any kind of glass walled or clear walled sampling containers that you can find in there. Any other water testing equipment that you can get your hands on in that closet, that would be great. I'm going to put out a note to Gavin and Mark and Brian to see about getting you in there, and I'll probably copy Bobby and Zoe on that too. And so hopefully the drivers or somebody could get into the closet in 190 and find some equipment for us to use. I apologize for not having that set out ahead of time, but sounds like getting in there shouldn't be a challenge. I know Ted's out of town this week, but he said that if we can put a bug in Mark's ear or Gavin or Brian's ear, they should be able to get you in there. I was also brought to my attention, Ted tells me that a few of you have actually gone through the Iowa Water course, or the training, I guess you'd call it. I went through the training, kind of the first level of the training, it was like 6 or 7 years ago, at a meeting down in Fairfield. And so I'm certified, and I do have some documents that I'll bring with and share with you. But Ted made it sound like there were 3 or 4 of you that have actually gone through the training as well. And so what I might ask would be that those folks who have gone through the Iowa Water training to somehow identify yourselves, and then when we get out to the field site on Wednesday, I may ask that the people who have gone through the Iowa Water training actually help lead a couple of sessions for those of us that haven't gone through the training. And so we may break you up into smaller groups led by people who have gone through the training. And then the goal would be on Wednesday, one, explore, experience something new, but also we'll go through the data collection process that would allow us to actually submit information to the Iowa Water database. And so I will have documents available, and I'm also going to post them to the shared files on Icon. So we'll have some, Iowa Water paperwork to fill out, and then we'll see if we can't submit our findings to the website and maybe get them published in a place where you could do that publicly. And then again, not unlike last week, I'd like you to be thinking about how could you turn this experience into some sort of 2-page document or lesson plan. So be thinking as we're out here, how would you take this experience that we all share on Wednesday and turn that into some sort of classroom activity? So that's what I'd like you to be thinking of there. All right, I think I'm going to shut up there. Don't need to add much else. Sometime this week, too, I'll post the list of what the questions were from the initial assessment that people struggled with, and I'll talk about what we're going to do with that next. Okay, I think that's all I have. If you have questions about anything, don't hesitate to reach out to me. Otherwise, I'll see everybody out at Ciha Fen on Wednesday, late afternoon, early evening, and I look forward to working with you all again this week. All right, take care. Holler at me if you need anything. Thanks.